Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time, or outside of YouTube, you can join the Discord I've created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to see some of the different meals and recipes that I've been enjoying as I've been working towards my weight loss goals. Today is day 909 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose 250 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, let us know what you are doing to succeed. Share it with the rest of us. If you're struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe we can help you out. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? Let's go ahead, switch over to the big screen here. Hello. I hope everybody has had a wonderful day getting ready for the weekend. It's finally Friday, TGIF. Hello, pretty girl's mom. Hello, Karen. Happy Friday. It's not a super happy Friday for me because my whole family is going to be out of town, so I don't have my family to hang out with. I suppose it's going to be, it'll be a little relaxing in that respect, I guess, not having the kids around. But I do have a lot of work that I need to take care of this weekend, so it's not going to be that relaxing of a weekend. So, but yes, Carrie and the kids are out of town this weekend, so I have to fend for myself and try to survive on this crazy diet all alone without any help. But I think I can manage. At the very least, I know how to make broccoli and potatoes, and if that's what I have to live on for the next 2 days, that's what I have to live on for the next couple days. But I'll go ahead and go over the food I've had since yesterday. Karen here says you had a tooth extracted this morning. That sucks. YouTube is your entertainment today. I actually had a family member that had multiple teeth extracted today. I do not envy you or the family member of mine that had teeth extracted. I'm sure that it is not a lot of fun, and I hope that you're able to recover quickly from the extraction. A few more people checking in here. Stephanie and Lynette. Hello. Hope you're having a great day. So food since yesterday. Dinner was an interesting one for us last night. If anybody is not into food combining, then our dinner last night was not for you. Carrie had decided that she wanted to make the red lentil chili from the Chef AJ's reboot that we did a couple months ago. So she went to make the red lentil chili. She got kind of into preparing it, realized that she did not have enough red lentils for the recipe. And so scrambling to try to find something to replace the red lentils, she put some bulgur wheat into the dish last night to just try to, like I said, even it out, give it some more volume, or at least try to replace the red lentils that she did not have. It ended up being a pretty soupy dish, or it was very thin in the end. You know, with the red lentils, it ends up being a much thicker soup. So trying to figure out a way to thicken it up a little bit. We had some brown rice in the fridge that we put into the soup. And so this is our red lentil, bulgur wheat, brown rice chili. And I did take a photo of the rice as I was adding it in before I stirred it up. But yes, this was our multi, I don't even know what the right word is, multi-grain soup, I guess, is what we had last night for dinner. Carrie says you're driving, but the kids are, you are listening, so I better not talk bad about them or mention all of the parties that I have planned at the house this weekend, if they're all going to hear about it. But it's going to be all ice cream and pizza is what we're having at the house this weekend. It's too bad the kids aren't going to be there to enjoy it. A few more people checking in. Hello, Rebecca, if I didn't say hi already. Barb checking in. Hello, hello. I hope you guys are having a great day. So yes, that was our multi-grain soup last night, and I enjoyed it in the end. It was kind of took a little effort to get it all figured out, but eventually in the end, like Stephanie Simpson here says, it looks tasty. It tasted tasty. Then today I did take photos of food today. Started my day off. It does not look like a lot of oatmeal in the bowl that it was in, but it was a full serving or portion of oatmeal that we had, that I had this morning. It's our standard or our normal savory oats. It's a mix of oat groats and steel cut oats with onions, mushrooms, and spinach in it. And then I had a bag of broccoli after I had the oats for breakfast. And then for lunch, surprise, surprise, potatoes and broccoli. So that was the food that I had. I did have some fruit again. I didn't take any photos of the fruit I ate, but I did eat fruit. I had at least one apple and a couple bananas. You know, I forget to take the photos of the fruit, but it does exist, and I do eat some fruit in my diet. Just not a lot of fruit in the end. So yeah, that was food since yesterday. I made a quick video today and posted it on my YouTube channel. It kind of posted, or it would have posted right before I went live. So I'm not sure if anybody got a chance to check out that video or not, but it was just a quick video I did about some of the things I stopped doing that helped me to lose weight here. Stephanie's asking me, do I add anything to your lunch meal, like seasonings or sauces, etc.? Yes, I do. A lot of times, or in the past couple weeks, we've been using Table Tasty as a seasoning in our potatoes. There's also a seasoning that I believe is called Sunshine by Tabitha Brown. That is a no salt seasoning that we've used. We used to use Kirkland's no salt seasoning. And then another thing that we really enjoy putting in our broccoli and potatoes is some of the California balsamics, the vinegars that we get from them. And we actually have an order of that coming, so we should have some flavors of that next week to enjoy with our potatoes and broccoli. So we do put seasonings in them. I have found I know it sounds extreme and crazy and wild, but I have found that if I don't have any seasonings, that I still enjoy broccoli and potatoes with no seasoning. But I don't eat it that way often. But if I get in a position where, like we've been at work sometimes, where I don't have any more table tasty, or we didn't have very much of it, I've gone without having any seasoning on my potatoes, and I still really like the flavor and the taste. And in some ways, you get to taste the food more. You taste the difference in the potatoes more when you don't have those seasonings on your foods. But generally, we do add seasonings. Carrie says that she did not leave me with nothing over the weekend. I do have probably a ration or two of Spanish rice that I'll have to try to figure out how to survive on for the 2 days that they're going to be gone. I'll do my best. But I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully it'll just cause me to have a big weight loss this next week. And then I'll get to celebrate that you guys were gone for the weekend. But yes, I did a video where I talked about some of the things I stopped doing to help me lose weight. Pretty Girl's mom says, poor John. Yes, poor me. It's so hard having to make my own food and having to use the microwave and all that stuff. Barb says, beard's coming back, John. No, John's just lazy. That's why John had a beard in the first place, is because I was too lazy to shave. I will probably shave before Monday. I will certainly shave before Monday. I don't think about it. It was not part of, it's never been part of my routine for my whole adult life. I've always just let my beard grow. But yes, I need to shave it, and I'm getting used to it with not having a beard. I was talking to the kids the other day, that for me, it was kind of weird. I was going through photos of my, since I started this diet, the different photos I've taken of myself, and seeing the photos of me with a beard almost is starting to look a little weird. It's like when somebody starts wearing glasses when they haven't worn glasses, or you see somebody without glasses when every other time you'd seen them, they were wearing glasses. I'm starting to get used to my face shaved. So to see me with a beard, it's starting to have a little bit of a, oh yeah, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it shaved for a little while, try it out. I spent a good bit of money on a razor that I probably need to justify the purchase of that for a little while before I give up on shaving. But yes, I'm getting a little bit hairy. So, but yeah, the three things I stopped doing. The first one I talked about, and I talked about at length yesterday on the stream, was that I stopped eating processed foods. And I really think that processed foods is the key to so many diets' success. Like people that say they've been on a diet for 2 weeks and they've lost 20 pounds, or they've lost 5 or 10 pounds even. The reason why they lost that 5 or 10 pounds is most likely because that diet required them to reduce the amount of processed foods that they ate. And so I believe that getting to a point where you're eating as unprocessed of a diet as possible is the key. I don't think I've read, is it Chef AJ has a book called Unprocessed? I don't think I've read that one yet. But yeah, that I think is a huge key factor in my weight loss, is been the unprocessing of my diet and taking control of the foods that I put into my body, and then realizing that when I go from eating unprocessed foods to foods that are even just minimally processed, that I can feel the difference. I notice inflammation when I have foods that have a little bit of salt added to them. I feel um, bloated when I eat, foods that I purchase from restaurants. And it's because of the processing of the foods that, my body isn't used to digesting them. It's not designed to digest them. It's just able to adapt and get used to it. And that's what my diet before was, just my body continually adapting to me adding more and more poisons and toxins, and my body finding a way to survive through those toxins. Plants Only Muncher, thanks for checking in on this Friday. Hope you're having a great day. The second key that I talked about was Gene checking in too. Hello, family. Yes, hello, Gene. Hope you're having a great day. Removing hunger as a stressor in my life. I stopped under eating. I believe that has been such a big part of my success. Is we always take our diets, and what we were eating before was the volume of food that our body wanted us to eat. And so we go on these calorie restriction diets that end up turning into volume restriction diets, and restricting that volume is unsustainable. So, focusing on calorie density and focusing on volume, that has really done an amazing job to help curb the crashes I used to have before. Like, I don't walk around with hunger as a stress in my everyday life. It's eating this way has removed so much stress from my life, because before I used to be stressed because I was always hungry, because the food I was eating wasn't giving me the nutrients I wanted, so my body was always hungry. But I would oh, I lost my point. I totally lost my point. I don't even remember. It was so good too. It was the greatest point ever. It's focusing on calorie density has really been, yeah, I don't know. It's been a big part of it is the eating the volume, and replacing the volume, and not replacing it with air or replacing it with water. How many times did I try a diet where I was like, well, anytime I get hungry, I just need to drink some water and it'll help curb my hunger, and it's just not sustainable. Plants Only Muncher says, this weekend is your opportunity to buy new pants, or have you done this already? I did buy some new pants. Yes. Earlier this week, I talked about that. I went to Goodwill, and I picked up I bought 2 pairs of pants, 1 pair that fit and 1 pair that I'm hoping fit soon. And then I bought 4 pairs of shorts. 3 pairs of the shorts fit, and 1 pair I'm hoping fits soon. So yeah. And then I was able to spend less than $35 on all 6 items. In the past, I would have had to have gone to a specialty store that had clothing, that had, pants that were over 50 inches in the waist. And there's no way I would have gotten clothes for that cheap. I'm so cheap that I would go, like, if I had to go to DXL to buy something, and, I just needed something for a special occasion that was coming up, or even if it was just to buy new t-shirts, because that's where I would go to get new t-shirts. Or I got a non-scale victory too. I used to go there to buy my underwear, and I got a non-scale victory as I got new underwear coming. I'm not sure if they came in today or not. They were supposed to. Maybe Carrie's listening. But I got new underwear. So I actually ordered underwear that's going to fit me, because I'm still wearing the underwear that I wore when I was 520 pounds. And so I'm going to get some new underwear that fits. That's a non-scale victory for me. And so, yes, I got new pants, and that was awesome this week. But yes, I was talking about hunger and removing hunger as a stress from my life, and how I was so stressed out before because my diet sucked. I was eating a bunch of crap food, but then I was also stressed about the fact that I knew that my food was killing me. I knew that when I went to get the McDonald's for breakfast, it wasn't the best choice that I could make. And so I was stressed about the food that I was eating. And then when I would go on diets, I would be hungry all the time. So I'd be stressed about my lack of food. And with this diet, I've removed all of those stresses. I eat a bunch of food, so I don't have the hunger stress that I used to have. And my diet is so clean that I don't have the stress of I'm killing myself every time I put a fork in my mouth. And so just that removal of stress has been huge towards my success and towards my weight loss. Gene here says you didn't get enough sleep last night. You had back spasms. That's awful. You feel like you're starving today. That's really sucks that you have the back spasms. Barb here says that you're always hungry after the day after not sleeping well. It's something I was kind of talking about this a little bit today, not exactly, but I had talked about that like your cortisol level. I believe it's your cortisol level, and it might be, I'm not a doctor, don't take any of this as doctor advice, but when you eat things like with a lot of sugar in that, it raises that cortisol, and then that's like your satisfaction hormone, or like that your satiation or your contentment hormone. And so maybe your hunger is your body trying to get some sort of satisfaction through the food, and for me, I just made a comment about, the food I eat is so clean that I don't ever feel bad if I eat a bunch of food. If I were feeling like I were starving or very hungry, I wouldn't feel bad if I ate some extra broccoli and potatoes, or if I ate an extra portion of dinner, or if I had a few oranges or some extra fruit in the day. Feeling hungry, and it might be that your body is looking for those nutrients that it would get from the food so it can fix whatever's causing your issues. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. But I could see, our body tries to get satisfaction through our taste buds, like that's really, I believe, how we've been trained since we were little kids. Our parents would pacify us with dopamine hits. It wasn't intentional, and I'm sure I did it with my kids, but you give them a treat to get them to calm down or to quit crying. And it probably feeds into that natural, give them something to raise their cortisol level. But also, it creates that dopamine spike that makes all of the other stress go away because they're so satisfied by that piece of candy. And so Gene here says that it's the body compensating over a lack of sleep. Yeah, I mean, it's something that, it might affect your weight for a few days too. Like you eating more today to satisfy your hunger might cause you to be up in the scale for a day or two. But as long as the foods you're not eating isn't, highly processed foods, then I believe that you shouldn't feel bad about it, like that's but you just got to do what is going to make you feel the best. Just try to, because if you eat too much, then it can cause you to feel bad too. Um, so yeah, the second point that I talked about in that video today was about, just my relationship with food is so different. What I understand about food, what I believe about food, just everything. I wouldn't have believed that my mind would change so much if I wasn't sitting here talking about it. Like the concepts of calorie density, and like people told me to eat more vegetables, but they didn't phrase it in a way that penetrated my skull. Like it was I don't know what I was thinking when they said eat more vegetables, and I said kiss, yeah, whatever. Piss off, like go feed your vegetables to some rabbit, like I don't know, how the idea escaped me, and maybe it was because of the moderate change of those diets. It wasn't enough of a change. Like you would do those diets where you added the the lettuce, or you added the vegetables to your diet, but you still had the foods that in comparison are uncomparable. When you compare an unprocessed food like iceberg lettuce and tomatoes and carrots and the things that you would get in a side salad, when you compare those things with the processed foods that you're getting as an entree at many, when you're going out to eat, you can't, it's an unfair comparison. It's like comparing apples and oranges. But by eating that diet where you have this food that on its best day, the fruits and vegetables on their, mostly the fruits taste great, but the vegetables on their best day are never going to taste as good as the worst tasting French fry at McDonald's that comes out of the fryer that day. Then it's impossible for you to change your mind's ability, to get your mind to go for that lettuce ever. Like it's never going to choose that food that isn't going to come anywhere near the dopamine response that the other food that is going to give you. And so that's what so many of those diets that I did in the past, if they, many of the diets would say, hey, eat this way, and if you want, go ahead and have some lettuce, go ahead and have broccoli, like the Weight Watchers diets. All of the vegetables are like no points or 0 points, and so it was okay to have those items, but I wouldn't choose them because it was like, well, I could eat lettuce for no points, or I could have this 2-inch long by 1/2-inch wide snack bar that's 2 points. Well, I'll take the 2-point little itty bitty snack bar instead of the big bowl of lettuce. Like, because the snack bar was going to give me a dopamine hit that the bowl of lettuce could never give me. And what I realize is that, by changing my food that I put in front of myself, I may never get a dopamine hit like somebody who's eating a Burger King cheeseburger is getting. I may never get that through my food, but I'm getting really close. Like it's like when we have a food like the polenta with white beans, to me, that's as good as when we used to get, pizza from a restaurant, and because there's a variation in my food's dopamine response that it gives me too, like when we have a salad that has 15 different vegetables in it, it gives me a different dopamine response than when we have our white beans and our polentas, or when we have our Spanish rice. It might be somewhere in between those things. So there's still a variation in my diet. So I feel ebbs and flows. Sometimes there's variations in the fruit I eat. I'll eat one orange and it tastes amazing. I eat the next orange and it tastes like crap. But the so there's still variation. So I still get that kind of change in my mood, and it's still it's just a different mindset that I didn't think that I would have. I didn't understand, like that I don't, and the further you get away from having those things, the far easier it gets. It may take a couple days to get it out of your head that, it's not going to be something you have. And it may take a few times where you have to turn down that food, or you have to say no when you go to the grocery store, and you have to say, no, I'm not going to buy cashews this time. I'm not going to buy mango this time. I'm going to pass those things up. That you do that a few times and it becomes easier to do that. You get used to the change that you've made, just like our eyes change when we walk from a dark room to a bright room. Our taste buds change. It just takes a lot longer. And then we have nuance within that change our whole lives. We're an incredibly adaptive species. Like if you were forced to change, if you were dropped on an island and all that was there was potatoes, you would learn to love potatoes, and you would find variations within the potatoes you were eating and ways to make the potatoes better or worse. But you'd survive, and eventually you'd get over the things that you were missing in some ways, as long as you were getting some satisfaction. Like that's what happens with other diets, is that you get rid of the volume, you get rid of some things that you love, but you don't replace them with anything. Then you long for those things that you miss. But if you get rid of those things you missed, but you replace them with other things that you can grow to love, then you aren't as likely to listen to, Barb says you'd be in heaven on that island. Yeah, drop me on a desert island with just a bunch of potatoes. Yes, as long as there's some broccoli growing wild next to it. Yes, that would be great. And then the final thing I talked about in that video today was to get started. I'll say it at the end of this video. I said it at the end of that video. And some of what I was just talking about, is the change, being willing to change your life, to change stuff about your life, and then being willing to change once you make that change. Like when I started this, the change I was making was, I'm going to be a faster. I'm going to fast diet. I'm going to fast for 30 days, and then I'm going to eat for a little bit, and I'm going to fast for 5 days and just eat on the weekends, or I'm going to eat one meal a day, or I'm going to use fasting to lose my weight. And then that changed a month into this, and I started eating a plant-based diet. And within the plant-based diet, I did pick what most would consider an extreme version of a plant-based diet by eating something that has no added salt, oil, or sugar. But within that diet, I've made adjustments. For a period of time, I was eating avocado. I removed avocado from my diet. For a period of time, I was drinking fruit juices, that I've removed those from my diet. And Ezekiel bread was something when, it blew my mind from 430 pounds really until 320 20 pounds, that 100 pounds that I lost there. I ate Ezekiel bread with nut butter all of the time throughout that period. And I continued to lose weight. But then I got to a point where I couldn't keep having Ezekiel bread with nut butter and still lose weight. And so I've had to remove that from my diet. And by removing that from my diet, I started to see the weight go back down again. And so those are things that I would say fall under the category of whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free. I know that some of what Chef AJ does, like the flour, the Ezekiel bread wouldn't be part of that, or maybe it is. I don't know. But those things would be acceptable for some people. And maybe when I get to my goal weight, I could have those things again. But my goal right now is not to maintain. My goal right now is to lose weight. And as long as I'm continuing to try to lose weight, then I need to make changes that go towards that goal. And so I think the flexibility that I have shown within this diet itself has continued to push me to lose weight. And many times in the past, the diets, I was on such a routine, and once something caused me to deviate from that routine, it took all of my effort to get back on the diet. It took everything I had to even try to starve myself again, because that's essentially what I would do. Is I'd go, from eating, calorie of, or a starvation diet essentially, or a low calorie diet, which turns into a low volume diet. And then I would binge, and then my body would be like, well, why don't we do that all of the time? Like, what were you waiting for? This food's been here all this time and you've been starving us. But this diet, I've been able to correct my course. I've been able to get back on the diet again because I'm not starving. I follow up a bad choice with a huge volume of good choice. If I'm going to, I guess if I'm going to focus on calorie density, I need to make sure that I make my overall calorie density for a day as low as possible. Even if that means I might eat more volume. But I believe that we make a mistake when we eat that junk food, we eat the processed food, we eat the thing we shouldn't eat, and then we starve ourselves. Then we say, oh no, I ate something bad. I shouldn't eat again for the rest of the day. I shouldn't eat again till tomorrow. I think that's a mistake. I think that if the food is not something you want in your body, by stopping the flow of food coming in, you're going to cause your body to stop pushing food out. And so your body's going to feast on that food that is left in your stomach. So I believe that the best thing would be to eat a bunch of potatoes, eat a bunch of broccoli, eat a big salad, just fill up your stomach with healthy, good foods so that you can push the crap food through as fast as possible. But yeah, just even getting started, like that's a change that you have to make that was extremely tough for me to do. It didn't just happen, as far as the YouTube's considered. Yeah, I just flipped on a camera on November 1st, 2020 and said, I'm starting my diet. But I had to make a lot of changes in my life leading up to that point. I had to decide what I would even try to do or how I would try to do it. And I had to put a plan together in some ways. But it caused me to get out of the rut I was in, get out of the routine that I was doing that was just continually killing me day after day. And so just being open to change, being willing to give that change a chance to work too. Like that's something where I've had many times throughout the past 909 days where I got on the scale and my weight didn't go down or my weight went up. And if I was too quick to change, if I was not willing to give this diet a chance and be confident in how it would work, then I may have acted too rashly. And when it comes to our taste buds, we have to realize that the changes take time. It takes seasons for us to get used to new foods, because it would have taken us seasons to get used to, we would have had different foods from season to season. If we were a nomadic people, if we were wandering around in one, prairie that we lived in one summer, might not have the same foods that were in the next prairie. And we would have to be able to change and adapt to that. But that change and adaptation wouldn't have to happen immediately. With our eyes, we need it to happen quicker because we use that for protection and safety and things like that. So anyways, I think I am going to get out of here today. I got to go home and take care of the puppies, and I got a couple more things I need to do at work before I do that. So I'm going to hop off here today. I really appreciate everybody coming on, checking out my live stream and all of the support that you guys have given me. 250 pounds is an amazing amount of weight. I feel so incredible at 270 pounds. And I know that these next 50 pounds that I lose, I'm going to feel even better as I lose the weight. So a lot of that is due to all of you guys and all of your support and keeping me kind of accountable with this as well. So I appreciate you greatly. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you get subscribed to the channel. If you have not clicked on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos, that would be awesome. And if you've not hit the thumbs up on this video, I would really appreciate if you hit the thumbs up. Stephanie says, have a nice weekend. Don't get in too much trouble. Oh yeah, that's my middle name, Trouble. All right. And if you have not started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up that's more important than your health or your overall well-being. And there's nobody that reaches their goals, looks back and wishes they would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have gotten started sooner. So get started now, guys. I will talk to you on Monday.